since the 70s, 40 years ago, there's been a lot of focus on gender equality in Sweden. This is one example is the parental leave program and the fact that fathers are supposed to take care of the babies just as well as the mothers, all these kind of things. And it's been difficult, but I mean there have been attempts by most of the political parties in the Swedish parliament to try to change the traditional gender roles and so on. But and I think there's been a slow progress, and statistics are showing that more fathers are involved with the babies and the infants, and boys and girls are doing more of the same things. Yeah.
Okay.
But when you now get groups of people from other cultures which have not focused on that, you feel that you take a step or two back.
Yeah.
Because here you get the fathers coming in to the preschools or to the after-school homes saying, I don't want my son to cook or to do these kind of things.
Yeah.
I want him to play football. And this is not what I see. So you have many more difficult discussions because the gender roles of some cultures coming into Sweden are, as far as I'm seeing it, old-fashioned in the Swedish way.
Yeah.
My first research, when I did my doctoral dissertation in the 70s, we did find differences between boys and girls in the homes and in the daycare centers, and making observations showing that the adults were spending more time with the girls and the boys were playing on their own, doing their things and so on. And now I see the same things 40 years later in research. And there you feel that has nothing changed, really. So
Yes.
it's not easy, I think.
It's not easy.
But I do think that when you look at the young girls and the teenagers, they're much more less shy and they're much more certain about themselves now than they were a generation ago. Well, I think maybe that it's true that parents are more uncertain about the parental roles, and that they turn more to experts in a sense because they don't have the same network around the family. It's not as easy to. I mean we have the number of children in the families are down, and the number of children and parents around in the neighborhood are going down because parents are working, and it's so you don't have, and this is of course a gender issue. Men have never done this, so if you see that it's not a change when it comes to the fathers, that they're less uncertain about their parental role. The reverse, I would say, that they are more involved in the parental role. But for mothers, I think that it might be true that there used to be other models and mothers around to talk to more and ask, and now there might not be. So instead you turn to the preschool teachers in the open preschool, or in the walk-in clinic, the nurses, or internet. I mean, you can ask any question. You can just Google and find places where you can, what am I supposed to do? My child is not, cannot go to sleep at the time I want to, what do you think? And then you get all sorts of advice. And so I think from that perspective, when it comes to mothering, it might be more reliance on external experts than before, when the social network was more available, but not for fathers. I think the fathers are more alert and participates more. It's not been the case in Sweden with the medicines, but I think it's the diagnosis type of things.
Yeah.
That you, in a sense, if you can get a diagnosis, then that makes some people more secure. I mean, it's easy because you might have had concerns about children's behaviors, and you might not know what to do with it. And here's one child that's very aggressive or active or really making problems for others, and you don't know. But then if somebody comes in and say, well, this is an ADH something, oh, then I see. Well, that's a relief to know that it's that thing. It's not me as a parent or what we do here that's the important thing. It's that there is something medically wrong. And then it sort of removes the guilt feelings from the people around, because this was something with, and also the diagnosis sometimes is needed to get extra support in the preschools. So that makes it, or in the schools, so that makes it important from that perspective also. So the school will say, well, we can't have this extra. The politicians are saying, well, now when you have these 2 children diagnosed with whatever letter combination, then we will give you some extra support and a special educator and something like that. So from that perspective, but I don't think we have the discussion like in the United States where you find that they're using sedatives and things. We don't have those.